This is Marty Shupak. Welcome to Jets Rewind. I'm joined by Ray Clifford in Marysville, Ohio. I'm in our home office in Valley Cottage, New York. Right now, we're recording this on Sunday, November 21st at about 5 o'clock. It's about a little less than an hour after the Jets lost another game to the Miami Dolphins. It was incredibly frustrating. It was kind of a microcosm of a lot of the games they played. They lost 24-17. Mr. Clifford, how you doing today?
Good. I mean, it seems like it's, the same thing every week, but at least this one was a competitive game. And really, other than more boneheaded plays to kill us, you can honestly say we had a chance to win that game. So,
Okay. Ray, of course, I'm trying to become more like Ralph. I have a trivia question for you. Okay.
all right.
One of the bright spots of the game was Elijah Moore.
Yes, it
He
was.
had 8 receptions, 141 yards, 1 TD. To me, he's a budding superstar. Today, he became the 7th Jet rookie to gain at least 130 yards receiving. The 7th Jet rookie, one of them has done it twice. I'll give you a hint, Ray. I'm going to have you name. So there's 6 other names. Oh, wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 other names. He's the 7th. And one guy did it twice. Just the hint is he's in very good company. So that should give away about 4 of them to you, at least 4. So we'll come back to that. Ray, I just want to make some open comments. And I had tweeted during the game that I like Robert Saleh, and I like him a lot. I have a good feeling. But the team just does not seem to be well coached. Week in and week out, some of these mistakes and some of these penalties on third down are a lack of discipline. But the most telling part of my lack of confidence, or I question the coaching, is today, in the middle of the third quarter, we already had used 2 timeouts. And there's no reason for that. It's not acceptable at the professional level in the NFL. You have enough assistant coaches. You should have enough organization around you that you shouldn't have to do that. And I'm not saying it would have turned the game around, but a game like this, they could have used those 2 timeouts if we had made one of those field goals.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the bits and pieces of it, Ray. It was just so frustrating. And again, Ray, I don't know what it is. Going back 20, 30, 40 years, we make the opposing quarterbacks look like Johnny Unitas every single game. And I just don't get it. So, Ray, let me have your comments, immediate comments on the game.
Well, as far as the timeouts, I understood the second one because of the urgency of it. I don't know why it happened. The first one I didn't understand at all. We had just had a interference penalty or something, or an illegal hold on the defense, and so we got, or maybe that was right after the play where Ryan Griffin got hit out of bounds. It was right after a penalty, and I'm like, how do you not have the play in time when you have a penalty? So that there's the time off before the ref announces the penalty and all this stuff. You can't get a play in time. I don't get that ever when you're just running your regular offense. I understand if, there might be some confusion from time to time, but, or they, that he might be losing some time on the clock because he might be making a call to change the blocking scheme or something with the defense, but you're not even lined up yet, and you don't get to the line of scrimmage fast enough to get the play going. So the first time out really boggled my mind, and I just didn't understand it. The second one I understood, even though I still don't understand why we were running that close to the clock. Penalties, again, stupid penalties at terrible moments. This game could have come down to trying to score a touchdown to tie it at the end, or even better, to win it at the end, and we just made dumb penalties. And I like Amendola, but I don't. The 55 yarder is one thing. The other one, you got to make that. I mean, he has the leg to make pretty much.
Ray, we need another kicker. We can't continue on with this guy.
Marty, you say that every other week. So, no.
But
what do you want me to say to you? There aren't other kickers on the block right now, so he's our kicker, and I like him because he's got a strong leg. But if he can't make the gimmies, and I know a 30 whatever yarder isn't a gimme 40 yarder, but it's a gimme for him. He just didn't. He just pulled it to the left. So
yeah, and I just want to start with a couple of players. I thought, all things considering, I mean, I thought Flacco, he did pretty well.
I thought he did great.
Yeah, he was 24 for 39, 291 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. He got rid of the ball very fast. He made some nice throws. He made Corey Davis drop one pass. I had to throw that in, Ray. And but other than that, most of his passes were on target. There was a couple of the worst play he probably made was probably the intentional grounding when he wasn't out of the pocket and he threw it away. Go ahead, Ray.
I know what he was thinking. He threw it right over a receiver's head, but it went 20 some yards beyond the receiver. So then they said, well, he wasn't in the area of where it landed, but he threw it right over Jamison Crowder's head, basically. But Jamison Crowder was only about 10 yards away, and he threw it about 25 yards. So that's why they called it. I mean, if he'd have just, taken a little off it so that it landed right around the sideline, he'd have probably been okay, but it landed about 5-10 yards out of bounds. And so it went too far. He threw it towards a receiver, but he just put too much on it.
He did. And Ray, your volume just went up a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
But, basically, I thought he played well. It should be interesting who's going to play against the Texans this week. The Texans who won, and they threw me out of the suicide pool, as I mentioned. But just a couple of individual players, and I just want to mention, and I'm kind of obsessed with it, and I'm going to actually write a note to someone I know at the end of the year. I want to get the quarterback rating of all the quarterbacks, the average against the Jets for the last 10, 20, and 30 years. Just so you know, Ray, Tua was 27 for 33, 273 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. And let's give the credit to Ashtyn Davis. He made a nice play on the ground with that interception. I thought he played okay. I thought he mishandled that play on the touchdown where we should have pushed that guy out of bounds. I mean, he could have taken a better angle. And some of the angles, and some of the angles that some of our players are taking is just terrible. I know when they Waddle ran it, and Waddle's very fast. When he ran it in for a touchdown, two guys took a bad angle on him too.
Yep.
So they got to do something about that. And I just want to on that first touchdown, a couple of things. I know what you pointed out to me. C.J. Mosley overran the player, but besides that, I didn't think he was awful today. He's kind of in my doghouse. I thought he was okay, made a few bad, but the thing is, when he makes a bad play, it's so noticeable. But as you said, the refs miss a penalty on that because our guy, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Michael Carter, another linebacker. He was blocked in the back, Ray. And then
I think it was Mosley. I think that's part of why Mosley missed the tackle. I think it was Mosley.
I think it was the guy next to him.
Pretty sure it was. I think it was Mosley got blocked.
Was it Mosley?
I'm pretty sure. Either way, it was a block in the back. Even the guy on TV kind of mentioned it, that they got away with a block in the back a little bit, which he did. And that would have led to a field goal as opposed to a touchdown, basically. That hurt.
Let's get into the big one. And I've been on him ever since he got an extension. John Franklin Myers, I think, has hibernated since he signed that extension. I like him. He just is not giving us a complete games. He sporadically is giving us some plays. But today on third down, he roughed the passer, and it was huge. It was kind of like the Mark Gastineau, Ray. Did you have memories of that when you saw it?
Well,
This was obvious. They even counted 1, 2, 3 steps, and he pushed him down. There was
yeah.
no need for that. And you and me try to be objective because of all the times the Jets are called for roughing the passer.
Oh no, that was obvious.
It was obvious. It was a killer. It was.
Now,
It was.
the
A,
one thing I'll say, and I'm not making an excuse for him because that was a bonehead play and he shouldn't have done it, but really it didn't matter because I think it was Shaq Lawson on the other side hit him as well. So they had their pick of who they wanted to throw that flag on. And I think they just threw it on Myers because I think the ref's to that side and he hit him up high, which is more noticeable. But if you watch the replay, him and I believe it's Shaq Lawson hit him at the same time, way late. You know, it was so obvious and so easy to call that. I mean, it's so frustrating to see that. And then I thought the call on who was it?
Pinnock.
Got the call for the holding.
Pinnock.
I thought that was really ticky tack because I think the guy actually fell, but he wrapped his arm around him. So to the ref, it probably looked like he took him down. But when you watch the replay, the guy just fell.
But Ray, you can't put the games in the hand of the refs. He shouldn't have touched him.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying, though. To the ref, it looked like a penalty. So I'm not blaming it on the refs, but it was a ticky tack. When you see it again, you're like, he tripped and fell on his own. Really, he didn't get held. He fell over. But why he put his arms on him that way, even though you could see the coach on the sideline talking to him after the play and basically was showing him and he was grabbing him around the shoulders like he did to the receiver. And I know that's what he was telling him. You can't grab him like that. And
Right.
so killer penalties because they all led to points, I believe.
That was I thought there were 3 huge plays. Pinnock, John Franklin Myers. Now this is besides the 2 missed field goals.
Yeah.
The short one hit the upright, and the reason I'm not going to say
the long one hit the upright.
The long one hit the upright. Right.
The long one for us hit the upright.
Right. The short one.
The short one for them hit the upright, and the short one
so
for us.
They missed one too, so that kind of cancels it out.
Yeah.
Okay, but the other big play, and it's just because it happened, I guess it was the first quarter, and we don't remember as much as John Franklin Meyer. The Jets were driving, and then from Flacco's blind side, they gave him a hit.
Yeah.
And we were going to score. I mean, I
thought we were too.
Yeah.
We were moving.
If it wasn't a touchdown, it was going to be a field goal, but I think we were going to score a touchdown.
I thought we would. Well, you're right. I knew we were going to get points out of it. That was the one thing I was sure of. You know, we never took the lead in the game, and we had chances to take the lead. And
right.
We never took the lead.
Right. It was 7-7 at the time, I believe. And the thing with that play, and I was surprised that Flacco, he didn't get hurt on that because he was really.
He took a good hit.
Good hit.
He took a good hit.
And you pointed out when the ball was rolling around, they picked it up and then they tackled him. Then it was loose again. It looked like we recovered at around the 18 or 20 yard lines.
Actually, it was out there a ways. I think we were out around over because he ran quite a ways with the ball after. I think we were out over the 40, but it didn't matter. We still would have had the ball.
Right. That was the whole thing. We would have had the ball.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was, again, besides the missed field goals, I think those 3 plays, the Flacco sack in the first quarter when we were driving, the penalty on John Franklin Myers, and the penalty on Pinnock. The penalty on John Franklin Myers. I'm so sick of this crap. It's like every single game they're extending plays. It's just unbelievable. And
every one of those happened. And the one where, they missed the block in the back, they let that guy run for a first down. That play, if he'd have been tackled right there, all 4 of those would have ended the drives, and they would have either ended the drive and they punted or ended the drive for a field goal instead of a touchdown. And all of them ended up hurting us.
Which was the call when we actually sacked Tua on the third down? Was that the Pinnock hold? Remember, we sacked
Yes.
Tua? Yeah.
Yes, that was the Pinnock hold.
So if
That
Boy,
would have been, I believe, a punt because if they'd
of
if
course.
he had, that would have been where they sacked him. They would have taken him out of field goal range.
What a flip of the field that play was.
Yeah. Oh, killer.
And they ended up scoring, right? I believe.
Yeah, that might have been the
Or-
drive when they
or was
went
it the
down
missed
and
field goal?
settled for the field goal that made it 10 points. But either way, they took a ton of time off the clock. And then
Right.
they could have gone for it, but they were up by 7. That made no sense. They were on like the 1.5 yard line and they needed like a half yard for a first down,
Right.
or they could have scored. So, but I was like, they're not going for it because, a field goal, which is pretty much a gimme from that spot, makes it a 2-score game with basically less than 2 minutes. So there was no way they could have gone for that.
Right. And I didn't mention it, but everyone knows we're waiting to hear Michael Carter has a ankle issue, came out of the game. Robert Saleh addressed that. He didn't really have an update on it. He says he'll know tomorrow. So there's another player like Elijah Moore. And when you look at it, Ray, and we get on Joe Douglas for his 2020 draft, and a lot of people get on him, but if you look at that 2021 draft between, excuse me, Elijah Moore, both Michael Carters, Elijah Verataka. I don't know if I'm missing anyone that's really standing out, but that's a heck of a draft, Ray, right there. Those 4
Oh,
picks.
I think the first 4 or 5 picks there are really good. Elijah Moore is turning into everything we thought he'd be, and I think he'll grow more. And I that's why I'm about 100% positive that even if we could, we aren't going to keep Jameis Crowder.
Right.
There's no way. I mean, he's ready right now to step in there and take over for that. And I love Crowder. Crowder's going to go somewhere and be very productive. And
But
we're
Ray,
probably going to get nothing for him.
They're on the field the same time. I don't think they lose a lot. I know
No,
Moore
but-
is more suited for the slot.
Right.
But would you be upset if you found like he ended up signing Crowder to like a 1-year extension at $4 million? Would that upset you?
No, but I'd be shocked, not upset, because I can't believe Crowder would settle for that. Because I think he's shown that he'll go somewhere and get way more than that.
You're probably right.
And he'll get a multi-year deal, which probably means he's headed to the Patriots, by the way.
Patriots
Just saying. Mac Jones' favorite target starting next year.
Right. Or Tampa Bay, because they might lose Goodwin. I just want to go through a couple of stats, Ray. Joe Flacco, I mentioned 24, 39, 291 yards, 2 TDs. Michael Carter, 9 rushes, 63 yards. He caught 1 pass for 2 yards. Tevin Coleman, 5 carries, 16 yards. I like that guy. Something about that guy I like. We forgot about Elijah Moore had 1 carry, 15 yards. Ty Johnson, 1 carry, 5 yards. Elijah Moore, we mentioned 8 receptions, 141 yards, 1 TD. Jamison Crowder, 6 receptions, 44 yards, 1 TD. Ryan Griffin, 3 receptions, 39 yards.
He had a good game receiving.
He did pretty
He
good.
missed a couple blocks, but
yeah, and Ray, that was a very nice call. It faked everyone out.
oh yeah.
At 3rd or 4th and 1, whatever it was.
Then he had the catch where the guy, for whatever reason, shoved him after he's like 10 yards out.
Yeah.
I was like, that. Thank you for the extra 15 yards on that one.
Corey Butterfingers Davis had 3 receptions, 35 yards. And Nick Borden, BAWDN, who was activated, he's a fullback. I don't know much about him. He had 1 catch.
I don't either, but I know he made a big play.
20 yards. Ty Johnson, 1 catch for 20 yards. Tevin Coleman had 1 catch for 2 yards, and that's about it there. Joe Flacco lost 1 fumble, as we mentioned. Ashton Davis had an interception. On defense, listen, I've been down on him for a number of reasons. And one play today, he just overran the player, but I thought Quincy Williams played his best game as a Jet. He had 10 tackles and 5 assists.
Yeah, he had a good game.
2 of the tackles were for losses. Isaiah Dunn had 7 tackles. but you know, when that's the secondary, that's not really a good stat to have, Ray. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends. If you're talking, if he's tackling receivers, probably not. If he's making plays on running plays, then okay. Who's he tackling?
Right.
You know,
Bryce Hall had 6 tackles, 2 assists. Now he had a good game. He made that play on 3rd down.
yeah,
Not with a great play when they called I guess it was the roughing the
the
passer
late
call.
hit, yeah, the
Yeah.
roughing the passer.
CJ Mosley had 5 tackles, 3 assists. Kyle Phillips, we spoke about him the last podcast, Ray.
He made
He
a couple
was,
plays.
he was pleasant. He had 3 tackles, 1 assist. One of those tackles was for a loss about 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So hopefully we'll see more. Michael Carter had 3 tackles. Nathan Shepard, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Elijah Riley, by the way, I have a personal interest in him. He graduated West Point. He's the guy we signed off the Eagle practice squad. He's from, I think it was Port Jefferson, Long Island. He had 2 tackles, 4 assists. And going down the line, just 1 tackle, 2 tackles, nothing else stood out. John Franklin Myers had no tackles, 3 assists. In all fairness to John Franklin Myers, even with that play, I thought he was more visible, Ray.
Yeah, I thought he was involved, and
So did I.
it's too bad because that penalty was such a killer.
It was, yeah.
But I don't think he's mailed it in. I don't think he's pulled a Muhammad Wilkerson. I still think he's given effort. I think teams are just more aware of him and doing more to kind of disrupt him. And who knows, we might see him again. I mean, we're facing some good offenses and offensive lines at the moment. So
Right. And
Yeah.
we'll probably do another show, Ray. I'm guessing if Thursday's Thanksgiving, I'm guessing Friday. But and we're going to close this out in a few minutes. But gun to your head, Ray, we're going to go down to Houston and play the Texans. Who's the starting quarterback? But more important, who is the backup who's going to be activated? Can you tell me right now?
Well, no, I don't know how close. I think if Zach's ready to go, Zach goes. I do. But I don't know if they're going to say he's not 100%, but I don't think it'll be Mike. It'll clearly be Flacco if it's not Zach. And are we playing? We aren't playing on Thanksgiving, are we?
We're playing Sunday. No.
Sunday. Okay.
So who's the backup? If Zach starts.
If Zach starts, Flacco.
Yeah, I think you're right. And
Yeah.
I wish somebody could
I
tell
like,
me.
I like what Mike White did, but I think Mike White would have struggled again today
I think you're
with,
right.
with that kind of pressure
The
from
rush.
Miami. And Joe really handled it well. I
He
mean,
did?
the one sack that he took there and the fumble, that guy was there so soon, and really another half a second he'd have gotten that throw away. But that was about one of the few. He took 2 sacks. The one was a coverage sack, I thought, and that one was something where the guy just came pretty much untouched and got to him.
Ray, he did his job when you look at it. It was unfortunate. I'm not saying he doesn't take any of the blame, but they were driving for a score and he lost it on the blitz. And then
Yeah.
the 2 missed field goals. But besides that, we had 17 points. So he he wasn't Dan Marino, but he did his job. He really did. So I think it was a good sign. And it should be interesting, I guess, on Wednesday when they declare who is the starting quarterback. Ray, is there anything else you want to add before we get right back to this classic trivia question?
Well, one thing I would say is that.
Oh, by the way, how's the refereeing in the game today?
All in all, I didn't think it was bad. I think they made some bad calls, and they missed a couple of things. One of the things, and I was bitching about it to myself, out loud like I do, screaming at the TV. The cats hear me, but nobody else. But I was saying Miami was on that drive at the end, and they were, or maybe it was at the end of the half, they were trying to get out of bounds and stop the clock. And every time they caught it, they'd step out. But our guy tackled him and spun him around, and he actually went out of bounds a yard back. And I said, if you go out of bounds and you're not going forward, the clock is supposed to keep running. And they should have had to use remember in the
Oh,
first, was
right.
it the first half, they had 3 timeouts,
That's
or
a
maybe it
good
was at the
point.
end of the game.
Yeah.
And I said, they stopped the clock for him, but he was not moving forward when he went out of bounds. And then a little later, they switched to Sela talking to the ref. And I know he was saying the same thing because he was going, the clock should have kept running.
Right. Yeah.
And I was
right.
like mad because
saw
they would
that.
have had to use their final timeout and they weren't in field goal range yet.
And putting aside the bad usage of the timeouts in the third quarter, I think we both like the fact that he was a little more animated too.
Yes, he had a
Yeah.
couple times where he was
and-
really mad.
Just so you know, he took a different tact in his press conference when they asked him about the John Franklin Myers penalty. He said it's unacceptable. That was it. Usually
Yeah.
he'll say something like, "Oh, you know what?
You'll talk to him.
I have nothing against players if it's an aggressive penalty." You know what I mean? Penalty.
Yeah, but that
he
one-
actually, that's the closest I saw him put a player to being accountable, which I think is a good sign. And he's
It is a
learning.
good thing. And like I say, I'm not trying to make excuses for Jonathan Franklin Myers, but if he didn't, it would have been Shaq Lawson. They had their pick of who they wanted to make that stupid play. It just happened to go to him. They could have flagged either of those guys. They both hit him late. Stupid penalty, killed us.
Ray.
Oh, the other only thing I would mention
Go ahead.
is that right now, as of this moment, I'm not counting on seeing Michael Carter, the running back, in
Right.
next week's game. It didn't look good, and they
Right.
said
I
it's an
agree.
ankle, and I get the feeling that's going to keep him out a game or two. So who knows? I hope he'll be in, but
Right. So maybe Michael Pirine will get active for the first time.
yeah,
I'm not that concerned. He'll be missed. That guy, I'll tell you,
boy, he's looking good.
he looks more and more comfortable. He has a good patience. He's hitting the holes right. He's making his cuts better. He's going to break a nice run.
He's going to be a really good back.
Really good play. The
you
run
know.
he had today was 39 yards.
Knock on wood. Health.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Not being an issue, he's going to be very good for several years.
Just misscored. Ray, I just want to let you know that after our second to the last game, which I guess is the 16th game, on one of our podcasts, I'm going to have my first annual bum list from the Jets. So that's something that you could look forward to because I know you appreciate that too. So that's going to be coming. Marty Shupak's New York Jets bum
Maybe
list.
that should be my future trivia. I should write down your bum list now and see how close I come.
Ray, there's 53.
I've already
guys
got 3. I
There's
already
fif-
know 3 of them.
There's
So
53 guys on the roster. There's about 65 on the bum list. All right, back to the trivia question. Elijah Moore, everyone's favorite Jet. You go to any mall this week during Black Friday. I'm going to tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see green number 8 jerseys all over the place. Elijah
Okay.
Moore. He's good. Everyone's favorite Jet right now. He has become today the 7th Jet rookie to earn at least 130 receiving yards in a single game. And I repeat, he had 8 receptions, 141 yards, 1 touchdown. Boy, Ray, his last 4 games, he's been incredible. You know, he really has. Ever since they benched a rookie quarterback. But anyway, that's for another day. All right, Ray.
yeah, well, yeah.
There are 6 other Jets that did at least 130 yards the rookie year. Go ahead, rattle them
Now,
off.
let me ask you real quick though. I mean, are any of these old timers?
None of them are playing now. How's that?
Well, I didn't. Oh, none of them are playing now. Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I knew that, but I meant like, do I got to go back to the 60s or something?
No,
Anyway.
it's that's another hint. It's nobody's from the 60s.
Okay. Because I was like, it was kind of a passing when the AFL, they kind of had their passing stuff going
All
too.
right, Ray. Go
Anyway,
ahead.
well, Corbett,
No. Good guess.
Keyshawn,
That's no.
Altoon,
He did it twice. That's the one play did it twice, right?
Rob Moore.
He did it once, 130 yards receiving rookie year. Go ahead.
Now I'm totally guessing, even though I was wrong on the first 2. Those I thought were right. Eddie Bell. That's why I was trying to think of.
You're right.
All right.
He going
Little
very
Eddie
good
Bell
guess.
was. He used to be the Rich Caster.
You're right. That's 4. There are 2 left.
Well,
One of them you have to get.
I do. I have to get, Wesley Walker.
Yes, that's the one. There's one more. You're unbelievable.
I was thinking the other tight end from back,
No.
Jerome Barkham.
No. Wasn't a tight end.
It's a
Wide
receiver.
Wasn't Corbett.
And he was a rookie. Holy cow.
Yeah. 130 yards receiving in one game. 1 of 7. I'm going to count to
And I
5.
know huh?
I'm going to count to 5, then I'm going to give the answer. 5.
You might as well give it. I can't. I'm trying to think of who we had in the 80s.
Oh, you're going to kill
Sorry,
yourself. Lavernius Coles.
Oh, man. I wouldn't have thought 130 for him, though. I
Yeah.
know he caught a lot, but I didn't think he had
Yeah.
any big games like that.
So those are the guys: Al Toon, Wesley Walker, Rob Moore, Lavernius Coles, Rich Casser, Eddie Bell, and now Elijah Moore, 130 or more yards. He joins great company. It's only going to get better, Jet fan.
I'm actually surprised that Corbett wasn't one of them, as much as they threw to him when he was a rookie.
Yeah,
But he never had that in a game.
Never had the yardage like that.
Wow.
So, and again, Jets fans, in a really rough season, and it's been a rough, I would say rough 2 years, but it's been a rough decade. Elijah Moore is like a shining star who's just going to get better, and hopefully Joe Douglas will set him up with players around him. So for Ray Clifford and Marty Shupak and Jets Rewind, please check out our website. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast if you can. Until next time, and listen, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone, and please be thankful for everything you have. Just remember, there are always people and families out there that have less than you have, so just be thankful. Until next time.